Shema, Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Chud. Shema, Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Chud. Shema, Yasha'Allah, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Chud. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our power, Yahweh is one. All right, back at you with another lesson. So what we have today, the lesson today is just focusing on the calm before the storm. And we're going to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Harakak Wadash. Double honors to our elders and our apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth, and salutes to all you sincere out there. We're in the time of Jacob's trouble, apostates, sellouts and agents. And right now we're in the time of the calm before the storm. The calm before the storm, and after a storm, that well-known saying, there is a calm. But first, it's getting crunk out here, things are kicking off. And there will be a calm when Yahshua Allah, right, get back their rightful position, being put back in their right position by Yahushua, who's going to get his first going to get his lick back, Yahushua, after what he went through, Revelation chapters 1 and 7. He's going to bring them before me, all those that pierced him. So he's going to get his lick back. That's the ultimate storm. Right now we just have the skirmishes, right? It's not just rumors. According to Matthew, all of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark and Luke, we're in that time now. What Yahushua said we'll start to see before his return. And then he's going to return, but no one knows that day or hour. So it's about us right now, increasing our faith. We're seeing the prophecies in lifetime. That's another thing that increases our faith, when we start to see those prophecies fulfilling, and other things that what we do, what our responsibility is to do to keep our medicine strong via those prayers, the fasting, doing, starting your chores, fulfilling your assignments, your chores, your spiritual chores. That all takes place, that all builds up our faith. Faith in the Hebrew, the Amawana. So we want to build up the Amawana, or the Amawan, the faith. As Yahushua said, if you have that faith, Matthew 21:21, you will do greater than what he did. When he rebuked the fig tree, and it was no longer producing figs, and even greater, if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you will be able to move mountains. So we're in that time now where because it's getting crunk out here, as he said. Let me hit a precept. It's going to be a quick one while I'm out here getting my forest bathing on. So Revelations chapters 3 and 10 says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. That's where it's building. That's where it's building to. That's the focus. That's what we're building up our faith for, the Amma one. You know what I mean? So that's what we're looking forward to. And all the things that Yahushua said, if you have faith the size of a mustard grain, you will move mountains. And anything you ask in my name, you shall receive. That's the first thing we want to ramp up. It's ramping up our air. Esau's throwing the kitchen sink. But it doesn't matter. When that time comes, we're going to be doing spectacular things. And then eventually we're going to pick it up and dash it back at him. Right? That's the true men of the Lord, the so-called superheroes. But we're building up our faith to that when they're coming like a flood. So we want to, Revelation 3 and 10, because thou hast kept my word, the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. All the world has to be tried, and yeah. So we have to be tried, purified in the proper sense, refined, and then tested. That we're the real deal. Lord willing, we stand up to the fire and the temptations which is refining us as we're going through it now. But that's what Yahushua said to his disciples when he was on the earth. You're going to do greater than what he did. And what did and all the things that he did, he says, wasn't even written. Couldn't be written. It was too much. And he done marvelous things that we know of, and certain things that we're yet to find out that wasn't written. So as it's getting crunk out here, as it's getting out here, we're going to be able to meet it head on. But right now we're in the quiet before the storm. We're going to get into some of the things in a little bit more detail in some of the sit downs as time goes on. And brothers have experiences and testimonies. Right, we're going to hear some real out of this world things that we're going to start to see. I'm speaking in the spirit right now because that's what Yahushua said. We're going to do some great things, even greater than Yahushua himself. So, reading on, behold, I come quickly, hold thy fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Yep, the most envious man who wants to take our crown is going to try to seduce us, as it says in Wisdom of Solomon. He's going to try us, he's going to try and seduce us to take away our crown through many various things. What was mentioned in Maccabees with the mother and her 7 children. We had a little glimpse through that. So we've got things to look at, to focus on, to keep our eyes simple, all the things that are going to keep us, right, help us to endure to the end, keeping our medicine strong once again, asking to increase our faith. Yahweh Sap, Lanaya, Lanawa, Amawana, help us to increase our faith. Lord, help us to increase our faith. Amawana, the Amawan. So that's where we're at right now, and it's going to get crunk out here, as we know, as it's all as the scriptures say. As a matter of fact, let me hit one of them in the Gospels, one of my favorites, because what is Trump's received multiple so-called peace prizes, and what does the scripture say? Let me hit that. The scripture in 1 Thessalonians 5 says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them." Receiving the peace prize from various so-called heads or puppet heads, the one of Venezuela and others too. And we know he ain't no one. We know he's a warmonger. So that was just well, that was a fulfillment of scripture. It was a symbolism. It was just a symbolism, because he hasn't accomplished anything. As we know, he's the one that's taken leading the charge. Nero 47, he's doing his thing, and we ain't surprised that he's how he's acting. We're not surprised, because it's all the Most High is just using him as his left-hand side sword, as the scriptures done tell us that would happen. So we hear all these outlandish talks, building statues, monuments, resurrecting the buildings of the Romans, the ancient Romans back today. That's also giving us, helping us to see that, yeah, he's definitely him coming back, Nero coming back. He's representing and he's showing that he's there. You know, with all the symbolisms and the signs that we see, we can see that in the spirit, and the Most High is letting us, making it more even clear to us, putting out his witchcraft, his monuments to Satan. The signs are there clear for us to see, because the Most High gave us the eye salve. So they're talking about the peace and safety and sudden, but then what? Sudden destruction. So this is the quiet before the storm. And I heard that that phrase. We've known of that phrase, but it's a good phrase because we're at that time now. In the spirit. In the spirit, we're at that time now. So let me hit the last one. Now this was Yehoshua, this is in red letters, talking to his men, his elect men. Luke 21, and we're going to end with this. 25 says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars. Right at the turnover of the beginning of the year, you know, around the Pesach, we saw signs. There was quite a few signs, stars and moons, pink blood moons, which, you know, the pink is just a derivative of the blood, which the blood represents what's coming upon the earth. Yes, there will be a lot of that. A lot of deletions, as I've been saying. Spirit's been on me to keep going into that, talking about there's going to be a holy Psalms 110. Going to fill this place with holy deletions. So those are the signs. Mosai showed us those signs. Oh, the crows also over there as well. The crows, which we know crows, crows represent. It's an omen nomen for what's coming upon the earth. And we see them over there. That was over there for 2 days. So-called Tel Aviv, flying over Tel Aviv. The people was it almost brought the traffic to a standstill. The crows that was on the floor, on the cars, on the bridges for 2 days. So it's clear for us to see. The Most High gave us the eye souls. Be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations that cannot be refuted, with perplexity, the sea and the waves and the roaring. And don't forget when we saw those ice, what those ice was doing over there in certain states over there in America. Perplexity, people getting grabbed up. For the most part, northern tribe, but both northern and southern tribes are getting grabbed up. Just picked up, beaten up, brought to certain places and getting beaten up, lumped up, jacked up. And we know they've prepared executions, places for executions in the concentration camps. We went into that. So these are the signs what we're seeing, which is as the scriptures say, the perplexity, right? Perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Yeah, that could represent mankind. Unsteadiness, uneasiness, waters, waving, destabilizations of countries. And that's all this devil's done since he's been on the earth. That was his job anyway. Harbinger of death. And he's coming, he's doing a good job, as our elders always remind us, our elders and apostles and big brothers. Give him a round of applause for fulfilling his assignment, his side of the bargain, and he's fulfilling it down to the T. Right? Perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. Right? We've seen the TikTok videos, we've seen the man and the woman, them are bawl. They're bawling because of their circumstances. They're no longer getting, what they call that? The silver spoon. They no longer have the silver spoon treatment. The white privilege treatment is being, and the red carpet is being, just being dragged from under their feet as they're walking. The red carpet, royalty, silver spoon treatment. So yeah, they're crying, their hearts are failing for them. But that's, like I say, there's still, even with all the things I've mentioned, there's more, because it's still the quiet before what's coming upon the earth. And it's going to real get crunk. And when Yehoshua returns, that's when it's really going, you know, as I like to say, that's the grand finale. You're going to get crunk out here. Yeah? Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Yeah, Isaiah 13. Right, that's the Most High, Yehoshua. He's going to shake everything up. Right, but first he's going to let them go in the earthly WW3. Right, which we know the fulfillment of Revelation chapters 17 and 16. The beast shall hate the whore. Right, the NATO and EU nations They've got the whore fixed in their sight, and they're spitting defiance at the whore, right? Which the whore is Babylon. They're spitting the defiance on Babylon, all the EU nations and the NATO nations, spitting their defiance, but soon it's not going to be just words, it's going to be fire, right? Which the fire represents the intercontinental ballistic missiles, and don't forget the lasers that are going to come from the Yahushua's return, so-called UFOs, which are the chariots of the Lord. So yeah, this is the quiet before the storm. All the things I mentioned, we're still in the quiet. But there will be a calm. But first we gotta see it get hot out here and crunk. It's gotta get crunk first before the calm. But we're in the calm before the storm. So here's the last couple of verses. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the cloud with power and great glory. Yep. That's when we're going to do what? What we going to do? And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your hearts. Yeah, lift up our heads, but then it's going to have an effect on the heart. You know? It's going to have an effect on the heart. Lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. So I just wanted to make that point today, put that out there in the vibration for you, Akim. Continue to build up your your faith, right? And I'm applying that to myself first and foremost. Keeping our meditation strong on all levels. With the power and the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yoshai, the word of Yahweh Hashem Yoshai, we are on to the next.